everyone, welcome to the CaptainDrone YouTube channel. Well, my name is Steve and I am a drone pilot, and today is probably one of the last days you'll see me out flying before we get snow here in Canada. Yeah, it's a sad situation. So what I have for you today, for your viewing pleasure, for those of you also getting snow and want to watch RC planes, is I have the FMS PITTS. This is a 1400 millimeter wingspan from wingtip to wingtip. It's a biplane. If you're not familiar with PITTS, there's a lot of versions out there. You can get it from E-flite, FMS, other companies, but I think this is one of the larger ones you can get from FMS at a really low price, which is decent. Now the PITTS, the plane in real life, was invented by Curtis Pitts. It's still in use today, and he made a plane that was something that would defy gravity in 3D acrobatics and stuff like that. I learned how to fly planes last year. I'm not very good at 3D, so you won't see me doing too much of that in this video, but I'll try some. The plane runs on a 6S LiPo battery. They recommend a 4000. I only brought 3200s with me today. It flies the same. You get about 5 minutes flight time. Overall, it's a pretty basic plane. It's a pretty basic plane. There's no landing gear that pops down. The gear stays down all the time, which makes it very simple to repair or maintain. There are ailerons, top and bottom, and they're connected, but there are no flaps. And in the back, you have elevator and rudder. Inside, you have probably one of the largest battery bays imaginable to man, and they made it large like that so you could put really massive batteries. So if you don't want to use a 3200 6L or a 4000 6L, you can go up to a 5000 or a 6000 6L battery and get more flight time. I'm told it flies really well, so we're going to see it here today in this video. Here we go. Okay, we're all set to go. Let's plug in the battery. I do have two cameras on here. I have an Insta360 Go 2 up there and an Insta360 Go down here. Okay, battery's plugged in. We're all set to go. I also have a little blinky light at the front. Down here. Serves no purpose other than to be a blinky light because it is an unfortunate overcast dull day. So you won't see much, but with the two cameras on top, you'll see a little bit. Before we fly, test out our surface areas, ailerons. There we go, wing surface areas, and then we have elevator at the back, up, down, and of course, rudder. We're good. Here we go.
Motor arm.
And we'll spin it around, scare the guys in the parking lot. Do some rolls.
3D mode.
Do a low pass here without hitting myself. There you go. One thing I'll say about this plane, the PITTS, all PITTS actually, you can fly them really slow and they don't seem to stall. I'll show you what I mean. I'll come around, I'll come from the other direction, and I'll get it to go slow over the runway as if I was going to land. I think we have snow coming in the forecast pretty soon. All right, so I've got the throttle almost off, but look at this. It is just gliding over top. Beautiful. And come around again. I'll bring it over the field this time nice and low. Bring it way down. There you go. It's almost like a, what do you call those things? A farm tractor type plane. It's actually morning here, but it's so dull that I can't really tell. That's another reason I put the blinky light on the plane, is because I can't see anything. When the plane gets far away, it's red and it's dark out, so it just disappears. Anyways, all to say, this plane is super easy to fly. If you know how to fly an RC plane, propeller plane, you can fly this quite easy. No difficulty in flying this. I'll show you full speed. I'll bring it over, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, full speed. There's full speed. So people that do 3D on planes like this are extremely good. I am like a typical beginner. I have no idea about 3D. I can do just the basic stuff. I can take it up. I can go a roll.
3D mode.
There's a roll. I could do some, I don't know, what do you call those? Flips, rolls, or maybe the first one was roll. I'm doing rolls all over. Probably get sick watching that. I'll bring it back. Those things I can do, and that's pretty much it. I can't do the knife edge or all those other things because I usually fly EDF jets, and EDF jets, you don't really do acrobats. You need a prop plane for that. All right, so I'll bring it down. This is all just to show you that if you're thinking of getting a 3D acrobat plane, if you're a beginner, no, you have some experience to fly a plane because you can't fly this plane from scratch, then this is a good one to get. Bring it back. So watch this, I'm gonna kill the throttle. There, throttle's off. I'm gonna put the nose down so it loses altitude, so it doesn't stall. A little bit more throttle here, bring it over. I wanna land it really close to us. There we go. Beautiful. There we go. Nice plane, nice flight, really good. Now, a lot of people always ask me what radio I use when I fly. Usually for planes, I like Spectrum radios. They don't have a long range. The range on a Spectrum radio is usually as far as you can see the item, then you're okay. So on RC planes, you know, you can see them quite a distance, so you're okay using a Spectrum radio. The one I use is an IX-14. Before this, I had an IX-12, and before that, I had a DX-6, I think. So when you're in the RC hobby, you just keep adding and growing depending on what you do. Now, when you get this plane, it doesn't come this large. You have to assemble it, but it's a super easy assembly. So let me show you what comes in the box and the assembly. Check this out. This is the box the FMS PITTS comes in, and you will notice that everything is well packaged inside the box. Items you'll discover are an instruction manual, the main body fuselage, and you will note that the motor's installed, the pilot's installed, the electronics are installed, and the decals are installed. Even the main wings have graphics installed, as well as servos and linkages. The horizontal and vertical stabilizers also have the graphics applied. You also receive 2 wing spars and 2 wing supports, as well as 2 extra long linkages. Of course, you have the large landing gear and the large propeller assembly. And finally, you have the assembly hardware as well as a USB-C cable, just in case you want to update the firmware on the reflex system. And now let me show you how easy this plane is to assemble. Take the included 4 nuts and place them in the 4 holes in the landing gear assembly. Next, take the landing gear and line it up with those 4 nuts. Take the included 4 wood screws and lock the base into place. Now take the 4 included flathead screws and screw them into those 4 nuts. Take the wing spar and push it through the fuselage. Now find 2 wings that have wires sticking out of them. Those are your main wings. Now slide the wing spar into each wing and push the wire through the fuselage. Take the included flathead screws and lock both wings into place. Next, place the horizontal stabilizer on the rear of the plane and lock it in place with 2 screws. Then connect the vertical stabilizer and lock it in place with the 1 screw. Flip the plane over, connect the metal linkage between the servo and the rudder, and then connect the metal linkage between the servo and the elevator. Next, install the 2 wing supports. They simply slide and lock in position. Now take the 2 remaining wings, take a wing spar, put it through the 2 wings and push the wings together. Mount the wings on the top of the plane. The wings are held in position with these 2 brackets. Simply screw the brackets onto the wings and lock the wing supports to the top wings. Next, take the 2 very long linkages and connect them to the top and bottom ailerons. To assemble the propeller, first install the base plate. Next, add the propeller, ensuring that the righting is to the front. Add the washer, add the nut, and ensure the nut is on very tight. Next, add the nose cone and lock it in place with the included screw. Your PITTS is now assembled, so add a receiver and bind it to your radio. So my final thoughts on this plane are, if you're someone who flies RC planes and you've been flying for maybe a week or 2 or a month, and you could fly without crashing your plane, then you could probably fly this, because it's not that difficult to fly. Big planes, I find with new pilots, it's always scary for them because the plane is so big and it just seems like, oh my God, how am I going to handle that? But they're actually quite easy to handle in the air. And this one doesn't really have a stall factor, so you're okay there. So with all that said, I'm going to put links to this plane below. You can go check it out and see if it is the plane for you. I believe this is the least expensive 1400 millimeter wingspan PITTS, good quality on the market that you could possibly buy. So you might want to check that out. If you have questions on this plane, just post them below and I'll get back to you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you in a future video when we have snow on the ground and I'm flying planes then. Till then, I say bye.